Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. And for today's viewing pleasure, we have an extremely well played battle in the Swedish Tier 10 medium tank, the UDES 1415. No it isn't, it's the 1516. Oh my god, I'm getting it wrong already. Battle hasn't even started and I'm already screwing it up. The UDES 1516, played for us today by Clappage. Here's a question I'll bet you nobody's ever asked. What exactly does UDES stand for? Well, I'm happy to provide you with the answer, although my Swedish is going to be absolutely terrible. It stands for Underslagsgrupp Direkt Eld Stridsfordon, or UDES, which means Surface Group Direct Fire Combat Vehicle, which is a very fancy way of saying tank. This thing did actually exist. It was designed and prototyped in the early 1970s by the Swedish as a lightweight combat vehicle weighing around about 20 tons, designed for the anti-tank role and featuring a 105mm autoloader. So naturally what we have here in World of Tanks is a 35-ton medium tank with a non-auto-loading 120mm gun, because of course we do. So, aside from the fact that this is not actually a UDES 1516, regardless of the label that Wargaming puts on it, it does share certain similarities. It's about the same size and shape, with an extremely well-sloped hull and turret front. However, that hull is only 50mm thick, which means that a 105mm gun, for example, will be able to get a partial overmatch on the hull armour, and 152mm guns, or higher, will completely overmatch the hull armour. So, as with the Swedish tank destroyers, you really don't want to be relying on the sloping, because anybody with a sufficiently big gun will basically be able to ignore it. The turret, however, is a much better deal. It's 100mm thick, so you don't really have to worry about any overmatch, and it is also extremely well sloped. One thing that Wargaming did get right, sort of. What is that 4005 doing, by the way? Every time Clappage pops up here, he just hits him in the turret, his notoriously badly armoured turret, for 400 damage. And yet, okay, well, it's his tank, play it whichever way he likes. But what you did see being demonstrated there was the very, very good gun depression of the 1516. As designed, this machine features hydro-pneumatic suspension. Although as designed, that hydro-pneumatic suspension was supposed to be capable of giving this machine up to 10 degrees of gun depression. What you actually get here at World of Tanks is 13 degrees of gun depression, although only when the vehicle is stationary. But that excellent gun depression, in combination with the extremely low profile of this tank, is what makes it exceptionally good in situations on ridges like Clappage was just exploiting there. Wow, check out this utter hero in the Tiger 2. You know, I don't even think he has the 105mm gun. That looks like the Long 88. Which is the gun that the Tiger 2 was actually armed with, but, well, you know, World of Tanks. Holy shit, he just killed the Object 907. What a rock star. Clappage, once again, taking advantage of that extremely low profile and good gun depression, while the Tiger 2 proves that it wasn't a fluke, and he kills the KV-4 as well. That KV-4 had an exceptionally bad game. He did 0 damage. Oh, 400 damage bounced off the turret from the T-34B over there. He's not having that much more luck than the KV-4. There are a couple of other outstanding players on this team, other than Clappage, by the way, not just the Tiger 2, whose luck unfortunately appears to have run out. The shitbarn on the team, the FV4005, is also going to be proving himself to be a very valuable teammate. He's just managed to kill the T-34B, and just as the team looked as if they were starting to rally, the Tiger 2 dies, quickly followed by the team's VK-101P. Clappage's position isn't critical just yet, although he's going to take a shot from the Lerva, who, along with the T-30 back there, did kill the Tiger 2, but before they can advance from that position, they're going to have to deal with the Tortoise and the FV4005, so Clappage has some time to come to the assistance of the Barask. But he's going to have to be extremely careful, because in the rocks over there in the middle of the field, there is an Object 704, and you really don't want to get hit by that thing. It will overmatch the hull armour and do an arse ton of damage. The team have just lost their STB-1, they're now losing 4 to 8. The Lerva's looking kind of vulnerable, but the TL-1 poked out and took a cheeky shot, which was very fortunately absorbed by Clappage's tracks. I guess the Barask wasn't interested in sticking around to fight. Although, to be fair to him, he's probably reloading. Another shot into the lurver. Here comes the TL1 again. Angles up and, again, absorbs the shot with his tracks. The TL1 is probably getting very frustrated. And what the TL1 is doing here is the oldest trick in the book. He's trying to bait Clappage into chasing him around the other side of the rocks there, where he can get shot at by the Object 704. Fortunately, Clappage has seen a couple of John Wayne movies in his time, and he knows an ambush when he sees one. Oh, actually, the Object 704 is driving down a low road in the middle of the map. He doesn't actually have a line of fire, and the Barask chose this moment to make a reappearance. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him pretty much, well, in fact, absolutely all of his health. Fortunately, the friendly FV4005 was waiting for the TL1 to pop out and stomped all over his hopes and dreams. Unfortunately, the team just lost their T30, and then they lost their WZ111 and their T26E5. There are now just 3 members of this team left alive against 8 enemies, and the enemy team have control of the side of the map where the cap circle is. But of course, they're not trying to win by capping. Why would they? They outnumber Clappage's team 8-3. So why bother capping? Yeah. Oh look, there's the enemy 1516. His problem, of course, is he's been spotted by the FV4005. So stopping to aim under those circumstances was probably not a great idea. Canadian Jagdpanzer caught on low health in the middle of an open field. Boom, headshot. Object 704 going for the FV4005. He's got him back to rights and manages to miss. While I think also taking a hit from the Tortoise. Oh, he's not in a good spot there, is he? Oh, hang on a second. ELC even 90, sneaky little French bugger. Clappage swings around to get his frontal armour. Oh wait, no, the Frenchman's running away. The FV4005, unsurprisingly, did manage to finish off the Object 704, but they're all closing in. Well, not all of them. There's 3 of them are dead now. And at least one, actually 4 of them are dead now. The 4005 just finished off the Super Conqueror. But at least one of them is thinking to themselves, perhaps actually one of us should start capping right now. Clappage fluffed the shot there against the Barask, but is the Barask reloading? Only one way to find out. Turns out the Barask's gun is ready to go, but he bounces, and even though Clappage's gun wasn't ready to go, when you've got a machine that weighs 35 tons, and you drive all over a machine that weighs 15, you don't really need the gun. Oh, nice. Wasn't actually enough to kill the ELC even 90, but he set him on fire, and 1 tick of fire was enough to get the job done. And suddenly, it's 3 against 2, although the Tortoise is extremely low on health. Somebody is, however, going to have to deal with whoever's capping, and, well, there's only 2 of them left. We know where the Scorpion G is. That must be the IS Too Many Twos. Fortunately, this is an encounter battle, so it takes 3 times as long to win by capping. He's got plenty of time. Scorpion G versus Tortoise over there. Normally your money would be on the Tortoise, and that Tortoise has been playing a great game, but, well, he doesn't have any health left, and you have to assume that the Scorpion G is going to be loading gold in what is already an extremely powerful gun. That, however, definitely falls under the category of somebody else's problem right now. He's going to have to reset. He's still got nearly 2 minutes to do it, so there isn't really any rush, and unfortunately the Tortoise has died. However, there's the IS Too Many Twos, and there's his turret roof, which is only 52mm thick, and this is a 120mm gun in a machine with 13 degrees of gun depression, so he is easily able to get a partial overmatch and penetrate the turret roof with 2 out of 2 shots. The big Russian, realising that the return angles for his shots are pretty much auto bounces, closes the distance. Clappage, not unreasonably thinking that his 120mm gun with high explosive will be able to take him out, gets the job done on the 2nd attempt. And that just leaves the Scorpion G, which is good, because Clappage is almost out of ammunition. I mean, he's got enough left to deal with the Scorpion G, but he's burned through 18 rounds of his standard ammunition, which on this machine is APCR. He's gone through 2 of his high explosive and 9 of his gold high explosive anti-tank. It is just the Scorpion G, though. It's not exactly well armoured, with the, for want of a better word, turret that only has 14 to 15mm of armour, and a hull which only has 16mm of armour at the side. High explosive will do the trick. Oh, and there he is. High explosive, 563 damage. Takes a gold shell from the Scorpion G in return, but it hit the spaced armour around the tracks for 0 damage. The Scorpion G is dead, and that's 7,700 damage. And 7 kills for Clappage in the Swedish Tier 10, apparently medium tank, the UDES 1516. And it's not just the kills and the damage, which is impressive enough. I mean, look at that post-battle results screen. Over there on the right, that's every tank on the enemy team. He either damaged them, or he spotted them, and then somebody else damaged them, or both. Frankly, I'm amazed that he didn't get a Confederate award to go with his ace tanker, Top Gun, and high caliber. It's also a damn shame that Clappage, the FV 4005, and the Tortoise, who also both deserve shout-outs, didn't have the foresight to form a battlefield platoon towards the end of that battle, because if they had, they would also have gotten a crucial contribution, because between the 3 of them, they knocked out 13 of the enemy team. And also, let's not forget that Tiger II, Tier 8 heavy tank, and I don't think he was fully upgraded, although I could be wrong, but even so, still just a Tier 8 heavy tank, and not a particularly good Tier 8 heavy tank in a Tier 10 battle, and he was responsible for the other 2 kills. And here's something that you might find interesting, or appalling, depending on your perspective, is that between the 3 of them, Clappage in the UDES 1516, Sergio Luis in the FV 4005, and Yo 1964 in the Tortoise, they did 3,500 damage more than the entire rest of their team combined. But I think you have to ask yourself the question, at the point where it was 3 against 8, if the enemy team had decided to cap, rather than trying to kill everybody, could they have done it? And I think they could. Because the Tortoise was too far away and too slow, the FV 4005 was too far away and too slow, and even if just the 3 weakest tanks had been sitting in that cap circle to get the maximum capture rate going, Clappage would have had to fight his way through the other 5 in order to get there. But it's probably true that when you are winning 3 tanks against 8, the last thing that pops into your mind is the thought, we might actually lose this, maybe we should start capping. So under those circumstances, you have to admit that it's entirely understandable that the enemy team didn't want to win by capping, although I can think of better ways of exploiting your numerical advantage than all rushing across the middle of an open field one at a time in front of 3 enemy tanks with extremely dangerous guns who were all being driven by the only surviving members of the team at that point who'd actually managed to kill anything. I guess sometimes it's okay to just win instead of trying to win any harder than you already are. So Clappage, well done. Congratulations on an extremely good result. And everybody else, I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.